Forget everything you think you know about dinosaurs. The roaring, scaly monsters from the movies. That's just the beginning of the story. For decades, our image of dinosaurs was frozen in time, shaped by early discoveries and a lot of imagination. But today, a revolution is happening in paleontology. New technology, incredible fossil finds, and brilliant scientific minds are painting a picture of the dinosaur world that is more vibrant, complex, and frankly, more amazing than Hollywood ever dreamed. We re-peeling back the layers of myth to reveal the untold truth about how these magnificent creatures actually lived. So, get ready to travel back in time, because we're about to uncover the real lives of dinosaurs. Let's start with the king himself, Tyrannosaurus Rex. We see him as the ultimate lone hunter, the solitary tyrant of the Cretaceous. But what if that's wrong? Recent fossil discoveries are challenging this idea. Multiple T-Rex skeletons have been found together, suggesting they might have lived and hunted in family groups or packs. Imagine a pack of T-Rexes using strategy and teamwork to take down a massive These weren't just mindless killing machines. They likely had complex social structures. And what about their parenting skills? Fossil evidence suggests that some tyrannosaurs, like their smaller cousin Gorgosaurus, were surprisingly attentive parents. They guarded their nests, protected their young, and may have even taught them how to hunt. The fearsome T-Rex might have had a softer side, a dedicated family animal, which is a far cry from the movie monster we know. And what about their appearance? For years, we've pictured dinosaurs as drab, scaly reptiles in shades of green and brown. But science is now adding a splash of color to the prehistoric world. Incredibly preserved fossils from China have revealed something astonishing. Feathers. Not just on small, bird-like dinosaurs, but on relatives of T-Rex itself. These weren't necessarily for flight. They could have been for insulation, keeping them warm in cooler climates. Or for dazzling display, like the vibrant plumage of modern birds. Using powerful microscopes, scientists can even analyze fossilized pigment cells called melanosomes to determine their actual colors. Imagine a velociraptor not as a scaly lizard, but as a feathered predator with intricate patterns. Or an Anchiornis with black and white wings and a reddish-orange crest. The Mesozoic era was likely a much more colorful and feathery place than we ever imagined. Now, let's talk about the gentle giants, the herbivores. We often picture them as slow, lumbering creatures, just peacefully munching on leaves all day. But their lives were filled with drama and danger. Take Triceratops, for example. Its iconic 3 horns and massive frill weren't just for defense against predators like T-Rex. Fossilized skulls show puncture wounds and scrapes that perfectly match the horns of other Triceratops. This suggests they engaged in intense one-on-one combat, likely for territory or mating rights, much like modern-day rhinos or deer. Their frills, which were once thought to be purely defensive shields, were filled with blood vessels. They could have been flushed with color for communication, to intimidate rivals, or to attract a mate. These were not passive plant eaters. They were dynamic, social animals with complex behaviors. And what about the long-necked sauropods, like Brachiosaurus and Diplodocus, the largest animals to ever walk the earth? How did they even function? For a long time, it was a mystery. How could a heart possibly pump blood all the way up that incredibly long neck to the brain? New models suggest a powerful, 4-chambered heart combined with a sophisticated system of valves in their arteries, prevented them from fainting every time they lifted their heads. Their long necks weren't just for reaching high branches. They allowed them to graze over vast areas without moving their massive bodies, saving precious energy. Fossil trackways show that these giants often moved in herds, with the younger, more vulnerable animals in the center, protected by the large adults on the outside. This is clear evidence of a sophisticated herd structure. A moving fortress of plant eaters navigating a dangerous world. The world they lived in was also constantly changing. Dinosaurs didn't just exist in a single, static jungle environment. they adapted to a huge range of habitats, from lush tropical forests to arid deserts and even polar regions. Yes, polar dinosaurs. In places like Australia and Alaska, which were much closer to the poles millions of years ago, paleontologists have found fossils of dinosaurs that endured months of winter darkness and freezing temperatures. Species like Leelanasaura had large eye sockets, suggesting they had excellent vision to see in the low light of the polar winter. They weren't migrating away. They were toughing it out. This incredible adaptability shows that dinosaurs were not the evolutionary failures they were once portrayed as. They were masters of survival, thriving on every continent and in almost every environment for over 150 million years. So, how do we know all of this? It's not just about bones anymore. Paleontology has gone high. CT scanners allow us to look inside fossilized skulls and reconstruct dinosaur brains, giving us clues about their senses and intelligence. We can analyze the chemistry of their fossilized teeth to figure out their diet and where they migrated. We can even study fossilized footprints to understand how they moved, their speed, and their social groupings. Every new fossil, every new technological advance adds another piece to the puzzle. We're learning about their growth rates by studying the internal structure of their bones, discovering they grew much faster than modern reptiles. We're finding out about their diseases by identifying pathologies like infections and broken bones that healed. We're building a complete biography for these animals, from birth to death. The picture that emerges is one of a world that is both alien and strangely familiar. A world of feathered tyrants, jousting triceratops, and herd-living giants. It was a world of complex ecosystems, filled with animals that were active, intelligent, and incredibly successful. They weren't slow, dim-witted monsters doomed to extinction. They were dynamic, adaptable creatures that dominated the planet for a length of time that makes human history look like the blink of an eye. The real world of the dinosaurs was far more interesting and spectacular than any movie could capture. It's a world we are just beginning to truly understand, and the more we learn, the more we realize how much more there is to discover. The age of dinosaurs wasn't an ending. It was a spectacular chapter in the story of life, and its legacy continues today. Every bird you see in your backyard is a living dinosaur, a direct descendant of those feathered predators from the So the next time you look at a bird, remember its incredible heritage. Remember the vibrant, complex, and astonishing world it came from. The story of the dinosaurs is not over. We're still uncovering its secrets, and the truth is more exciting than we ever could have imagined. Thanks for joining us on this journey back in time. If you are as fascinated by the real lives of dinosaurs as we are, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of science and history.